Do you ever wonder how fast your internet is? Or has anyone ever asked you how fast is your internet and all you can use is fast or slow? Well, I'm here to enrich your vocabulary and tell you what it all means. Hey, what up? It's your boy MobbJustice back again with another video. Today we are talking about internet speed. How fast is your internet? Is it fast, slow, medium? How do you even judge this thing? And I'm going to be showing you how you actually judge how fast your internet is and how you can actually gauge it using units of measure. So just like any other type of speed, because when we're looking at cars, for example, if someone asks you how fast is your car, you can point at the speed gauge and say that my car is capable of going, let's say, 200 kilometers per hour. What is the speed limit in the area? 80 kilometers per hour. If you're in other parts of the world, you're talking in miles per hour, etc. But here in Africa, in Southern Africa, we're talking kilometers per hour. And it's the same with internet speed, except that the unit of measure that's used is megabytes or megabits per second. And theoretically, what this is basically a gauge of how many megabytes can travel through your internet connection per second. And if I can just use a brief example, if you have, let's say, Wi-Fi at your house and your internet service provider tells you that your line runs at 4 MBs, what it means theoretically is that if you were to download a file that was, let's say, 200 megabytes, that file is going to take about 50 seconds because theoretically you're downloading in 1 second you're downloading 4 megabytes, which means your 200 megabyte file will take 50 seconds theoretically. Hold up. So I'm in the middle of editing and I just realized that I made a mistake. Megabits per second and megabytes per second are not the same thing. It's an honest mistake and I do apologize. This is a mistake that a lot of us tend to make, so this is the clarification. There's a difference between megabits per second and megabytes per second. The difference being that there are 8 bits to a byte. So basically, if your internet speed is running at 20 megabits per second, you take that number divided by 8 and you get an effective download speed of 2.5 megabytes per second. Obviously, this is not going to be constant because as we said in the video, download speeds and internet speeds tend to fluctuate a little bit. So just keep that in mind as you watch the rest of this video. I will link a video in the description that explains more fully how megabytes and megabits and bits and bytes, the difference between the two. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of this video. Now that we understand that, the other thing that we need to understand is the fact that there are two internet speeds that you have to be aware of. There's upload speed and then there's download speed, because internet traffic flows in two directions. It's like a highway. So when you are downloading files, let's say from Google Drive, or just going on YouTube and watching something, you are downloading data. But when you upload your files to, let's say, OneDrive or to Dropbox, you are uploading data. When you post a picture to Instagram, for example, you are uploading data. So we measure speed according to what you're putting onto the internet, that's your upload speed, and what you are taking from the internet, that's your download speed. And they are both measured using the same megabytes per second. Now that we understand how internet speeds work with your uploads and your download speeds together with your MBS, how do you actually then gauge how fast the network that you are on works? Whether you are on a cell phone network that uses LTE, 3G, or whether you're using Wi-Fi with ADSL or fiber, you can easily do this by using your internet browser. I'm going to be showing you how to do this using two internet tools that basically do the same thing. And then just turning to our computer here, the first one I'm going to show you is something called the Ookla Speedtest. These guys have sort of been the gold standard over the last few years when you want to gauge how fast your internet speed is. So basically what you do is you go to a website called speedtest.net. As you can see, I spelled that a bit wrong. We said speedtest.net, and then it should take you to this page. As you can see, it's got a big go, and you just click here, and then it should start. It uses something called a ping. So there you go. It starts gauging over a few seconds how fast you're into the average speed of your internet, and right now it's starting off with the download speed that you can see with the little green arrow. Now it's going to the upload, and as you can see, it's resting sort of in the 1920 range. And then that's it, and then it will just give you like a basic summary of how fast your internet is. So basically my ISP tells me that our line runs at 2020, which means it's going to be 20 megabytes per second download, 20 MBs upload, and you can see, and you can actually gauge that, you know, they're being honest, they're telling the truth. The other tool I'm going to use is a simpler one. If you actually just Google the word speed test, if you actually, let's actually go to Google itself, and we go to google.com, and then we type in the word speed test, and then you click enter. You'll see that at the top it gives you this little definition here, and then you can actually click where it says run speed test. And if you click that, it'll do the same thing that was being done by Ookla just now, but it's gauging it in a slightly different way, and it does its own ping as well. As you can see, there is the download speed. Now it's trying to measure the upload. So there you go, 13.5 and 12.7. So you can see that there's some discrepancies between the different speed tests. And the other thing you need to also be aware of a lot of the time is that internet speeds tend to go up and down depending on your network. And as you can see, also the methodology also works. The reason why I like the Google test specifically is the fact that it allows you to actually gauge for yourself in words, because it tells you, for example, here you can see it says your internet speed is fast. Your internet connection should be able to handle multiple devices streaming HD video at the same time. This is the little added advantage of using the Google test as opposed to the Ookla one, because the Ookla one just tells you how fast it is, but the Google one actually tells you practically what you can possibly do with your internet, with your particular internet speed. I know that with certain streaming services, they say that if you want normal 480, that's your standard definition, you need to be running at around 2 megabits per second, and then if you want your HD, you need at least 4. So these are just some of the ways, and nowadays we're talking 4K streaming, and if you have multiple devices, these are some of the things that come into play. We're now going to switch over to the mobile side. We've seen how you can gauge the speed of your internet using a computer and browser. So right now we're just going to unlock the phone, and then we are going to head on over. There's actually an app. First I'm going to show you the Ookla app. It's called Speedtest. You can find it on the store. It's available on Android and Apple. So if you go into the app, you can see here this is the Speedtest app, and I'm going to be showing you how fast the network is on my home Wi-Fi. It says begin test, so it's going to do a ping just as they did on the browser, and you can see it going through the same kind of process.
12 seconds later.
And then now it's doing the upload side. So as you can see, like what I was saying earlier on, the speed of your internet can tend to vary just depending on what's going on at that particular moment in time, and then it gives the summary right there. Unfortunately, when it comes to the Ookla Speedtest, it's not available in the browser. If you try and go to speedtest.net on your phone, it tells you to try and download the app. But what you can do, and this is where the difference is between Google and the Ookla test, you can just Google the word speed test on your mobile phone, and just as on your computer, it gives you this thing at the top, and then you can just click the words speed test at the top, and then it will start doing a ping, trying to contact a server, and then it should run the test as normal. So there you go, running at about 9, 8, 10, somewhere there, which means that the Ookla test and the Google test are in line at the moment, just about. And then now doing the upload, you can see touching the 15, 16, 17, 18 range, also consistent with the Ookla test we just did just now. And then the same thing as we did on the computer, it gives you a summary, and once again it gives you a different type of summary. As you can see, because the internet speed is slightly different, the description that Google gives you about what you can do with your internet is a bit different. Like for example, here we're running at 10.2 on the download, 17.6 on the upload, and basically it says that your internet speed is typical. Your internet connection should be able to handle streaming an HD video. If multiple devices are streaming video at the same time, you may run into some slowdowns. So that's it in terms of this particular video. I felt it was important for us to address this issue because I know that people tend to debate about what's fast and what's slow when it comes to internet speeds. So I just hope that these little tools are something that you will start using in your own life, and it actually then helps you to gauge the speed of your own network. And in some cases, you can actually then see if your internet service provider is telling you the truth about the speeds that they say that they are offering to you. As you saw from my particular case, the internet speeds did tend to vary, and I know that that tends to happen, but I know that for all of us, we tend to go after a more stable and consistent connection. Interestingly enough, I then did a quick speed test. I switched over from the Wi-Fi that I used at home and did a quick speed test of the Vodacom LTE network that I use on my mobile device, and there's some very interesting results coming out from there, running above 50 Mbps, which is twice what we are running here at home in terms of Wi-Fi, but a bit slower on the upload side. And then I think another interesting fact is, if you also want to just understand what your internet speed actually means, the FCC, we spoke about the FCC in our previous video when we were talking about net neutrality. They are the Federal Communications Commission in America. They actually have a definition about what broadband is, and their definition of broadband is based on the speed of your network. And they actually used to have their old definition actually used to say that if you have a speed of, I think it was 4 megabytes per second download and then 1 megabyte per second upload, that defined you having a broadband connection at your house. But now it seems in 2015 they actually upped this to 3 and 25. So basically, if your internet is running at 25 megabytes per second and then 3 megabytes per second on the upload side, you have broadband. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Tell me what you think of this video, possible upcoming topics. If you have any suggestions, please drop a comment in the comment section. Drop us a like and definitely make sure that you subscribe. We want to grow this channel, and if you have anything that you really would want researched or just some information on, don't be shy to drop a comment and then I will be sure to make a video about it in future. For everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Definitely make sure you keep it locked. We will be coming out with a new video soon.
Hey, this is Baby G and you're watching the MobbJustice channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Live it, love it, like it. This is the MobbJustice TV.